Yeah, hi, my name's Edward Whittle. I'm the Climate Change Director at Whitby Seafoods. A lot of you hopefully will know who I am. I've been doing this role since January. I don't know if I did a previous video sort of introducing it. I've done several on our social media feeds, such as Instagram and Facebook recently, trying to answer some questions that people had posed regarding the business, but also how we do things differently or could do things differently to reduce how much damage we do to the earth. So today, in this weekly video, I'm going to do two things. One, a general sort of update from me and Gary Ainsley, who a lot of you will know. Well, I have Gary for a whole day a week, and I like to wring the last drop out of him and his kind of skilled data crunching and analysis, and he's been massively helpful in accelerating our attempts at, first of all, understanding where the main causes of climate damage, climate change come from for Whitby Seafoods. So I'm going to talk a bit about that. But first of all, it's a broader question. We had a suggestion for some kind of a nature zone behind the factory here in Whitby that could offer a place of respite from maybe noisy machinery, from hot or cold environments, just to reconnect. And I obviously think it's a good idea, but I think it's important. We've put it to the ERC committee, and I think it's important for everyone to get a chance to say, do they think this is a waste of time, and would you use it? What would you like to see if you did think it was a good idea? What should we avoid if we were to go ahead with it? And things like brakes, how does that work? The route there. So if you could use the suggestion box or the link, if you're going to use a smartphone to do it, just to drop a note through, just briefly, whether you think it's a good idea and any suggestions. The way this sort of ties in with climate change is a lot of businesses do rewild areas around their factory. Newlyweds, for instance, do. Used to be they said there used to be horses in the field, and they just kept the grass low. But now they've allowed nature to sort of return it. There's trees started growing, and you get more birds. You get diversity of flowers, wildflowers, and so on. So that form of rewilding, it certainly helps biodiversity, but also sequestering and locking in carbon, as long as those trees don't get cut down. And you can rewild your mind at the same time. So that's the first thing, specific thing. And then the second thing was a bit of an update. I'm sorry if it's getting very loud, I'm doing this in the office. It was a bit of an update from Carbon Cloud, and this is we're trying to get a carbon footprint. How much CO2, so how much of these gases which are causing climate change, causing the greenhouse gas effect in the atmosphere, how much of those are contributed from a bag of scampi? That's what Gary's trying to do now. He's been speaking to our suppliers, as well as looking at what we're doing in the factory in Whitby and in Kilkeel. And he's found out, today I asked him because Friday's my day, I was asking him about how he's getting on, and he was saying that TCL, when they do a monoprint, so sort of a food service type bag, simple food service type bag, they use up to 750 meters of film in setup for a 150 meter film run. So that film, which has been used to set the different colours up properly, and that is wasted. And that's mind-boggling, isn't it? That much plastic. People talk about, plastic bags, don't waste your plastic. Send them back to, Walkers, or drop them off at the co-op. But this is a bag, the creation of one bag. You might have had waste 5 or 6 bags. So that's food for thought, and something we're uncovering in our journey to try and understand how, just how much energy goes into that bag of scampi. So very excited about that. I wanted Gary to talk about that, but he's had a very busy day, he said. And then the other exciting thing is energy sensors. I never thought I'd say that, but energy sensors can be exciting. These will be clipped or applied around the cables of our machinery. We'll have about 100 of these, and they give a live feed of how much energy, how much electricity each piece of kit's using. So not like a half hourly, but live, and they go, I think it's either through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, and they give us this picture. So we can start tweaking. We can start, what happens if we run the fryer hotter, cooler? What happens if we speed it up? How much output do we get? How much energy will be used? What if we, so the other thought was, what if we kind of run the product with fewer changeovers, so you're not letting the fryer idle and then have to reheat. If you keep it constant, what does that do in terms of energy? It's difficult to, without segregating each bit out, it's difficult to know that. And also, without being able to prove what we saved, we could have a bumper year of sales and produce more and win market share and have used a lot more electricity. But then we've done all this work to to reduce how much energy we've been using in the factory. So we might have reduced it per kilo, the amount of electricity. But we've produced a lot more things. And so this way we can actually demonstrate the savings. And these are very important to avoid being accused of greenwashing, which is a term which you hear more and more often. It's a bit like kind of, it's lying effectively, or pretending that you're doing the right thing, and when you're not. So that was it. And then just to finish, that was just to give you a bit of a flavour for what we're trying to do. And if you want to hear a little bit more, that and if you really are struggling to sleep, just log on to those videos on Facebook and listen to me drone on about it. But use the suggestion box if you've got anything which you think is waste. Where are we wasting stuff? Where are we wasting energy? Where are we wasting product? Where are we wasting packaging? Where are we wasting anything? No matter how trivial, I, for one, would love to hear about it, because the number of suggestions have tailed off a bit after the initial excitement. So it'd be great to hear, where are we wasting things? Brilliant, I'll leave it there. Thanks, everyone.